everyone. It's your girl, Jillian.
It's Lauren.
And this is
Cup of Conversations.
Hello. Welcome back. Episode 6. I can't believe it.
I know. We're just rocking and rolling.
We
How's your
are.
week been? How was your Mother's Day?
Week's been good. Mother's Day was great. I drove down. My mom only lives about 2 hours from me, so me and Graham took a day trip to hang out with my mom. We actually I called it a throwback day. I was actually laughing because she called me on the way down. She was like, I kind of just want to go shopping, maybe do something chill, like do a chill dinner. I was like, okay, cool. We went to that mall. You would have thought it was 2008, it was 2007, 2008, like back in the day when we would be up in the mall all day. Like my mom, she goes through every single like clearance rack and she finds the finds. So we had a good time, honestly. It just like reminded me of my childhood, like trying to find a chair and just like talking to random people in the department store. And then we went and got Cheesecake Factory. Like how like mall day is that?
Right, it's perfect.
It's perfect. We had some lemon drops, so we had a really good Mother's Day. And like I said, it was perfect. We just had a little day trip, me and Graham, and yeah, we had a great time. What about you?
It's nice. So I ended up calling my mom early in the morning, like around 9 a.m., like early for a Sunday morning, because she was at her 45th class reunion from Hampton at the brunch. And I called her. I was like, yeah, I'll see you later on. She's like, oh, you're coming? Whole time, I did not realize that my dad was going to surprise my mom with me coming. So I just assumed that she knew. Okay, so there was a calendar invite. I just assumed, okay, I accepted it on my calendar in my email. I just assumed that she saw that she knew I was coming. So when I called her on Sundays, I'll see you later on. She's like, so, so it was nice. We ended up just having dinner at my mom's favorite spot. She loves the bonefish. My mom loves some bonefish. She be up in the bonefish. She know all the drinks. She knows all the waitresses. So it was just good to kind of spending some time with my mom and my dad. My sister was in North Carolina, but it's good to kind of spend some time with my parents at her little favorite spot.
Mhm.
Classic dinner, going back home for a little bit, taking a nice little drive down for the day. So it was cool. After immaculate, and I just like my mom. Just like she cracks me up when she's like all like flustered or when she's like irritated. And, she just I've been not irritated. Like there was of course some delay in the wait time for the reservations for how Bonefish. No shit to Bonefish. Mother's Day, it's like, oh, you have reservations, so a 45-minute wait. So everyone, moms, our moms, they're like, I need to be seated. Like, we have a reservation. So that was kind of always that energy is always kind of fun to be around. I'm like, like, go on, Sylvia.
And
But
back
but it was good. It was really, really good. Yes. And shout out to our friend moms, like, our besties. Shout out to Jamie, shout out to Brittany. Shout out to you, Jillian, our dog moms, my sister, dog moms. So I love it, all of that.
Yes, shout out to all our mom friends, Jamie, Alyssa. I'm trying to think who else. I feel like somebody else has children that I know. Shout out to all my mom friends. Love you guys down. All the mothers, the pet mothers, the almost mothers. Shout out to you all. We really appreciate you, and I hope you have the best Mother's Day this year. Yes. All right.
So let's get into this week's Lilac Report. So what I have been absolutely loving Forever on Netflix. It's so good. I'm like halfway through it. I put it on in the nail salon yesterday, nail teching myself. We were just like watching it. I'm gonna start from the beginning, and it's just so good. And I love Judy Bloom. I just love the actors. I love everything about it. It kind of reminds me of the early days of my husband and I. We did it when we were in high school. That's how my dad used to be that way. And it's like we really were talking about how like we were younger and our problems seemed so much bigger than we were, and they were smaller, getting into college, peer pressure, boys, girls, bullies, sports, all the things, trying to impress your parents, make everyone happy. And I was just like, dang, we used to be that kind of awkward and that kind of corny, that kind of cute. So it just made me feel really nostalgic. It takes place, I believe, like in the 2017, 2018. Girl, that playlist, I was just like dancing up in the nail shop. I'm like, oh, they playing Lil Uzi. They playing Money Longer, which is my favorite song. They're playing one of my favorite Lil Uzi songs. They played New Love, Victoria Monet. I'm like, you playing all the hits that we were jamming to in college. And I was like, so nostalgic. I love it. So if you have not had a chance to watch the show, please watch it. It is so good. I cannot wait to watch it later on this evening and finish watching it. It's so good. It's so
I'll
good.
have to check it out. I keep
Yeah.
hearing about it. Like you're not the first person I've seen like talk about it and how good it is.
Mhm.
So I'm definitely excited to watch it. I'll add it to my list. So I guess is it just about like teenage like
Yeah,
love
it's like
romance like
it's
very
a
like
teenage romance, coming of age, and it's just kind of it's really raw. It's not like corny. I feel like sometimes, be frank, I feel like YA can get a little corny sometimes, YA romance, but the way it is written, the way it's been directed and produced, it's very elevated. The characters have really nice development stories, and you want to root for everybody in the show. So it's good. It's really good.
okay.
I 10 out of 10 recommend. I haven't even finished the series yet. So
Okay,
yeah.
perfect. What I'm loving, it kind of links back to Mother's Day when me and my mom went shopping. So
Hmm.
we're in the shoe section, of course. If you don't know, like department stores like have the best
They do.
shoe, sorry,
No.
sections, and they always have a clearance. Jessica Simpson, like all those, like listen,
Mhm.
don't sleep on all those department store brand shoes. And
Mhm.
so I got these new INC shoes, like these mesh kitten heel, like
Ooh.
toe, like black shoes, perfect for summer because of the mesh. It like keeps it so light without having your toes out. So if you're going through like a time where like your pedicure's not fresh, but you don't want to like, wear something suffocating on your foot, you still
Right.
work out. It was like perfect for that. And I wore them out last night and they were perfect. They were so cute. So I'm loving that. And I also got like three other pairs of shoes.
Let me tell you.
I think the shoes, I'm loving the shoes. It's like getting me pumped for summer because they were summer shoes. Super, super cute. Cannot wait to style them this summer. So stay tuned.
I love that. Like you said, a Dillard's clearance shoe rack. Hate to see me
Yes.
coming. Because I buy the sandals in the winter and the boots in the summer because I'm gonna get the cute stuff. It's cheap, marked down, and it's good
It's
quality, like you
quality.
said.
Yeah, they're
I
like
love
actual
Jessica
quality
Simpson,
brands.
Gianni Beanie, Steve Madden, INC. There's just so many brands, department store brands that they're just so really they have the best quality at a great price.
Hmm.
Can't go wrong. So, what has been impacting me? My closet. As y'all know, Jillian came and visited last weekend, and girl, you got me together. So it's been nice to kind of wake up in the morning, getting dressed. I have my clothes laid out. I have my little section and zones in the closet. So that has been such a great help. Having you come and really just help me organize my thoughts in one space so I can just kind of getting ready and like glamorize my morning.
Hmm.
So my closet, aka Lowe's Boutique, is up and running and she's developing. So that's been impacting me.
I love that. See, it's coming from a true messy girl. That's how I
Yes.
know how to get it together
Yes.
because develop systems to get myself together. So I was like, girl, I know exactly what we need to do. Let's like start with step number one.
Yes.
Let's just get let's start with organizing phase one.
Yes. Phase
And
one.
it helps so much. But for me, what's been impacting me positively this
Hmm.
week, yay, 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 is my upcoming schedule. I love to bip and bop all summer long. I'm known for traveling and like doing the most. Like my
Hmm.
aunt literally calls me like, "Where are you now, Julian? Like, what are you up to?" And I honestly, these last few months, I've been like laying low because I have some plans this summer, really exciting family plans, friend plans, and so I'm really excited to start that. And this weekend kicks it off. My old roommates from pharmacy school are coming, and we're gonna have like a little reunion weekend. Fun girls weekend, no reason, really just like enjoy. And so I'm really looking forward to that because I'm hosting. Nice. Look, that's like one of my things I like to do now that I like, have my condo, have extra space, really nice hosting friends. So that's positively impacting me. Also, obviously, the weekend after, Lauren and I, we were just literally talking about how we're gonna have like a fun New York City weekend that's gonna end with Beyonce. I have a friend who's graduating medical school. Her party's gonna be in New York, and I have friends in New York. So we like literally have planned this like fun New York weekend that's gonna end with me and Lauren being at Cowboy Carter. So, and that's just the next 2 weekends. I've just been getting super like giddy and hyped up and like ready to go. I'm like, okay, I need to start getting my outfits together. Like, I honestly been behind, but it's okay. It will come through. Everything will be fine. But I'm like so looking forward to these next 2 weeks.
Excited to spend like to kick off the summer with just girl time. I love a chaotic girls weekend. Like I live for them. Like I
Yes.
love them. I cannot wait. I
We'll
cannot
do a
wait.
little vlog. We'll do a little vlog. I did a little mini vlog for our last hangout when I went to help Lauren organize her closet. It's on our
Hmm.
TikTok. So if you
Check it
haven't checked
out.
out our TikTok and you love TikTok, check us out there because I'll be posting like little mini vlogs from like when we hang out and stuff like that if you're into that. So,
Yes.
okay.
So what I have been listening to, this is another Lawrence Library segment.
Hmm.
On the Libby app, I have been listening to Capone by Jacquel J. Let me tell you, I love an urban romance. I love urban fiction. Like sometimes we just need to sprinkle that into your reading routine, into your rotation on your TBR list. I just love it. I just love a nice thug gangster just falling for the girl who's just trying to make it and he's trying to save her or trying to like spoil her. I'm here for all of it. So I've been obsessed with that. Come to find out, I believe it's a series. So I'll be tuning in to the series of Capone. It's given. It's given. I love it. I love it. It takes place in New York and it just kind of follows two people. Aaron is the FMC and Capone is the MMC and how they're trying to navigate life in New York and it's just so good. I just can't describe it. I just love an urban fiction.
I've
I love urban fiction. It's
I've
just
heard people that like really like, urban fiction. My dad listens to urban fiction.
hmm
He likes to do the audiobooks too. So
hmm
I definitely heard that's like a great genre.
it
I've
is.
like just gotten into fiction the last few years. I really like thrillers,
Mhm.
like mysteries kind of. But yeah, I love that. What I've been listening to, honestly, like our Coco Conversations podcast playlist.
It eats.
I'm in the car, like whenever I need to just like throw on a little mix, I've been like throwing it on. I haven't really been into like a particular song this week. I've really just been like throwing on the playlist and bipping and bopping, and honestly, it's been a vibe. So if you haven't already, definitely drop your favorite songs of the week, of the month. We are always adding to our playlist, like it's such a vibe, and we'd love to hear what you're listening to. Put us on. Like we love new music. We love hearing like what the sounds are in different regions. Like we want to know like what's to come up. So definitely continue adding so I can keep my gym playlist popping.
No, I just like to I wake up in the morning and I'm like, hey Siri, play Coco Conversations playlist. And look as my phone is talking now. Wake up. And immediately it's just like, I just want to let go. Free fall. Yes, actually. Like, let me get this started. Let this going. It's good vibes. We love your recommendations. We have great music taste. As what? Am I song? Played it. So, yeah, drop in the comments. What are the songs that you're listening to? Put us on. New
Hmm.
artists, old artists, 70s, 80s, 60s, 50s, whomever. If you love a song that brings you good vibes and elevates your frequency, drop it in the comments. We want to hear it.
All right, what was your adventure?
My adventure, I like again, we moved.
Mhm.
So my husband and I, we are foodies. We love trying out new restaurants. So again, we found a restaurant in our neighborhood, a sushi spot. I love sushi. I probably have sushi, or I we probably have sushi at least twice a week. We are sushi people through and through. So it was a sushi restaurant that's walking distance from our house. So try it out. Super cute, super fun, and very quiet. Like you walked in and the bar was shaped like a sushi boat. And I was like, it was so cute. It'd be so fresh. It's so fresh. They sell boba. You know, I love
Oh,
boba.
you know you're both.
I'm a Bubba girl, and yeah, I love a boba. So it's been good. So our little date thing has been we always go to sushi and then we always get ice cream because we just go get ice cream a lot. So sushi and
Me
ice cream go together for us. Maybe not for y'all, but for us, it makes us go
love
together.
that. The perfect night sushi.
That's the sushi night. So yeah, that's become my new adventure. What
Well,
about yours?
we had a similar adventure. I got sushi too. If you haven't heard of Double Knot in Philadelphia, you have to go. It's like one of my favorite restaurants. I had a friend in town, like one of my old high school friends. It was so good seeing her. She's in medical school. She is doing her thing, and she came up for a conference. She had a presentation. She has a journal article out. Go girl. Okay, that's my girl. Anyway, so we went out for dinner, obviously, because she was in town, and I was like, girl, we're going to Double Knot. Like, you have to go. It's like my favorite place. Like, if a guy like wants to take me on a date, Double Knot. When people come into town, Double Knot. If they need a recommendation, Double Knot. That's how much I like it. And what do they serve there? Sushi. Sushi and like Japanese cuisine, and it's tapas style, so you can share. And we actually ended up getting the chef's choice tasting menu. I had never got it before. Like usually, like you can pick like hand rolls, different sushis, sashimi, different like shareable appetizers or sides. Like Brussels sprouts are really good, like a fried kimchi fried rice. So this time it was the chef who chose our courses, and girl, it was so good. We were stuffed by the end, but let me tell you, like we had branzino, we had some like different sushis I had never had. I was like, usually I'm pretty safe because I came like late into the sushi game. I didn't always like sushi growing up, and so I've always like tiptoed and been safe with the rolls. So I really loved being able to like try different things that I wouldn't normally like pick. But I really liked. So next time I think I'm gonna be a little bit more adventurous. So that was my adventure. Really, really fun. I'm glad. Like, look at us eating.
Eating.
Like we had a great time. Listen, go to sushi. Like this. That's basically what we're telling you. Go to
Yes.
sushi. Go find a new Japanese sushi restaurant in your city. Grab a friend and go. That's your task this week.
Yes, and I'm sure I know between the two of us, we have recommendations both in RVA and in Philly. And I can attest, Double Knot is so good. I'm like, when I go up to visit, I'm like, we're going to Double Knot. Okay, girl, don't pull my leg. Like, we go there every single time. I feel like we go every time I come up and visit you. It's
Yes,
so
it's
good.
like
It's so
a
good.
must.
So
But
good.
yeah, that's what my adventure was.
So for careers, it's been like I guess kind of like a twofold thing. One, shout out to all my educators as Teacher Appreciation Week was last week. So shout out to all my educators out there, all of the teachers in the classroom. Shout out to y'all. Like you are doing hard work every single day. We see you, we appreciate you, we adore you, and we're always advocating for better work conditions, higher salaries, all the things. And yeah, so shout out to all my teachers out there. Also, so I been a little bit of advice. Again, like I said, I do work in education, but I think this kind of transcends to different professions and even outside of work. Just remember, y'all, the kids are watching. The
Mhm.
kids are watching. The kids are watching. That being said, it's really important to go into any job with like your best foot forward, dressing the part. People joke about how I always come to work in heels. First of all, I'm 5 foot, so I'm short. I gotta see over the kids. Like I need to be eye level with them. It's also for safety reasons for me. But in all seriousness, these kids need to see young women, young black women coming to work dressed up in heels and looking a little extra to work. And I do, like I said, I work in education, so it's very much business casual, but I tend to wear heels often. If I'm not in a heel, I'm in a Jordan. If I'm not in a heel, I'm maybe in a sandal. And because I took them off for the day. I timed out. Sometimes I have to time out. But the kids are watching. So just make sure that you are putting your best foot forward. Even the young employees coming into your job who are fresh out of college, they're looking for mentors. They're looking for people to look up to. They're looking for someone that they look at and they're like, oh, I want to be like her. Oh, I like the way she carries herself. I can learn something from her. So that would be my little advice for my career advice, my little every week the kids are watching, so you might as well step correct in a new shoe from the department store from where Jill got.
Okay. I love that career take, and especially as Black woman, like you were saying, we can't, do the super casual thing. Like even I work in corporate, and like when I do work hybrid, it's very relaxed. People come in their jeans. I don't wear jeans to work. I'm a young Black woman. I'm already young. There's already a perception of us, number one. And then also, like you said, it's also about having like pride in yourself, and then
Yes.
also like I want other people, like the younger generations, to see me like, no, this is how you carry yourself, and you can, like you said, do the most. You can be stylish at work, put on
Mhm.
your little heel,
Yes.
and it also helps, like, honestly, demand respect. You look the part, play the part, and it goes a long way. So I really like that you're not only dressing up for work, like for yourself and to be fashionable, but you're also thinking about, like, especially you working with younger generations and being able to show them, like, this is what I have to look forward to, and I want to be, setting a standard for them. So I really I love that take. For mine, I had some career advice too. Mine is make that list, make that to-do list. I am someone, like, I will say, and I'm taking this advice for myself because I love to do a list every week. I think it's good to write everything down. I'm a true believer and you can't remember everything.
Okay.
And you cannot keep everything in your brain. It's just like it's too much. If you can write it down and write everything down. I'm someone who I have a lot of tasks. I also have a lot of emails that I have to do, and it can get so lost. Like I can just start one thing and forget about another thing. And again, like you can't always depend on your brain. My brain needs to hold other important information, like what's going on in
Yes.
the broader world. Like that's what needs to be in my brain, not like what I need to be doing for work. So I love a to-do list because it just kind of gets my thoughts out and it really like calms me down for the workday. And I like to have a running list for the week. So like don't feel like you have to have a list for every single day. I know that's like a big thing, but have a list, add to it, check it off. It's also helpful if you're someone who maybe is going up for promotion or like has to keep up do check-ins with your manager every once in a while. You can go back through that list and you have itemized of things that you've done, week by week that you've done, taken care of. So I highly recommend if you're overwhelmed at work or even if you're not, just keep a list. Keep a list, whether you have it digitally or you have it on like a notepad. Keep an itemized list of like the things you're doing, the things you need to do so you don't get overwhelmed. And also, if you want to be cute, like me, I love a little Etsy personalized list with my name on it. So if it makes it cute and fun too. And usually they're really inexpensive. There's a lots of Etsy shops that do them, and honestly, it like makes it fun and cute. Like if you want to be cute and fun, like get a little personalized list with your name on it. Or you can like set it up, personalize it for work, or maybe you need a list for your personal life as well. I do both. But make that list. Get your things done. Honestly, whether it's, I know I talked about work, but honestly, personal life too. If you have like a list of things that you have to get, just write it down and just start checking it off. Little by little, get it done. So that's my little career advice this week, and I hope it's helpful for you.
Yes, I definitely need to hear that too. I'm like, yeah, I need to hear this because it's like you said, you forget. Like you're internalizing information, you're trying to process things. Okay, you have emails, meetings, impromptu conversations with people. Oh, this over here. So I love that idea that you have a Etsy list. You have to send me that link 'cause I need to
Yeah.
do that for myself. That's a good way to kind of just write, like you said, write things down. Write things down. I'm a girl. I always write in purple.
Hmm.
So I we write in my favorite color so I can get my tasks done.
Exactly.
Remember what I'm supposed to say, and we could type, however you choose to organize your thoughts. But maybe I'm old school. There's nothing like writing something down
Hmm.
on a pen and a piece of paper.
Hmm.
So I love that. Oh, thank you for tuning in for this week's Lilac Report. As always, it's a good time for you all to take some inventory about the things that you're loving, what has been impacting you, what are you listening to, your adventures, and what's going on with your career. As always, I hope you enjoyed our report. Cannot wait to hear what your Lilac Report is. This week's current event, as you all know, to doom scroll on my phone after work again. So, I actually found this article on Instagram from, I think it's from the Black Millionaires page, but it's sourced, the article is from Black Enterprise. So, this is the title of our article: Black woman denied real ID after not being able to get access to her birth certificate. She is 74 and was born at home with a midwife during segregation in 1949. A 74-year-old Black woman from South Carolina is facing major obstacles in obtaining a real ID, a federally approved identification, because she was born at home during the era of segregation and was never issued a birth certificate. Born in 9, Sarah Palmer was delivered by a midwife in rural South Carolina, a common practice for Black families during that time due to lack of access to hospitals. Because of this, she never received a formal birth certificate. That's now become a serious issue. Has lived a full life, including a 42-year career with the U.S. Postal Service, Okay. But without a birth certificate, she can't get the real ID required for the things like domestic flights and certain federal buildings. She provided alternative documents like her social security card, baptism record, and a delayed birth certificate signed by her mother years after her birth, but none have been accepted. This situation highlights how systemic racism and historical inequality continue to affect older Black Americans. Palmer's lack of documentation is not uncommon for Black individuals born in the segregated South. And now those decades old gaps are creating new barriers.
Wow. My grandmother, we didn't know her real birthday. We always just celebrated December 31st, but it's somewhere in December. But for the same reason, like there wasn't like birth records. They weren't keeping birth records of Black people born during that time. And it's interesting how now it's causing issue, excuse me. Now it's causing a real issue years later with this real ID situation. Yeah, and it goes into systemic racism though, because this reminds me back in 2014 when they were going to implement in North Carolina. I think they actually did start doing it now, where you have to verify your ID to vote. And it kind of relates to why it's a little detrimental because you have like people like this who don't have full records or they're not able to have identification. A lot of people have identification because they drive, like not just because they like have an ID. And so yeah, that's also a gap. So wow, it's like interesting that it's causing so many issues, but I mean it makes sense because of like how we didn't have records of like our births and stuff like that back in the day.
And that's a while ago. 1949 is not that long ago. That would make her what, 76 today?
Hmm.
Like that's not that old. It's the same thing for my grandmother. Was born in the house, and we don't know her birthday. Her birth certificate says one day. It's Valentine's Day, but we
Yeah.
celebrated it on the 16th. But they weren't even really accurate with birth certificates back in the day and how you still spell your name. And like I know Miss Tina Knowles talks about it all the time, like her last name, Beyonce and Beyonce, how the different spellings of them. And she was born in the Feast, in Texas or Louisiana. I can't remember where she was born exactly. But either way, it's kind of crazy how those, like you said, decades old systemic laws and rules and society for the culture things are affecting us today in 2025. But what was crazy for me, it was like she had a 42-year career with the US Postal Service. She was a federal employee. What do
Yeah,
you
that's
mean?
crazy. Because it's like, don't you have security clearance? Like, isn't she already like
She already in the system,
yeah,
like
exactly. Like just sign her up. Like that's ridiculous, honestly. Like that's ridiculous. And honestly, the real ID is really just a passport. Some people don't want a passport, don't need a passport. Like why
right,
are you having to show your identification to that extent?
right.
You haven't for years. Like to fly domestically, to do things domestically. Like it's really like I don't know, like why did they even come up with it? I don't know.
It's funny. I think obviously where she's in, it seems like from my perspective, they're obviously discriminating against her because my grandmother, she got her real ID a couple years ago, right when it was started kind of come out
Hmm.
when she renewed her license, her driver's license, and my grandmother is 97, so she got her real ID. However, not how long ago she had no problem in the state of South Carolina. Granted,
Hmm.
she lives in the Low Country, so it's a little more aggressive. A bigger city, Charleston's a bigger city, so that could also play a factor into that.
I mean, I would. Oh, go ahead.
But yeah, but I don't know. But I don't know. It's still kind
I
of
wonder.
crazy.
I wonder if it's a timing because you know they
Yeah.
about the real ID for years, and I know it's not just this woman in the article who's having issues. Like
Right.
everybody's like, "Oh my god, now I have to have a real ID," because they've been talking about it for years. Like I think over 8 years, because I've had mine for years since they like started talking about it because they kept saying, "Oh, they're going to implement it and like you wouldn't be able to fly." And I wonder if this is just because of the new administration, them wanting to, we have there's a lot of discussion about the border and all those things like this. This is like another way to kind of like filter out some of our citizens because I'm not sure if I don't know how it works with if you have like a green card or other types of identification. Like I don't know if this is like a tactic like them implementing this because there's a reason it hasn't been implemented for years. Like that's one of the reasons why nobody's taking it seriously because it hasn't really been fully implemented.
No.
And now it is, and it's causing all these issues.
And then like I think this came after. 9/11. 9/11 was 24 years ago at this point now. Like we were children, we were small children when that awful tragedy occurred, that attack on our country. So, however, 24 years later, and we're just putting some things in place that was supposed to be from years ago, for just to in the height of the war, the height of the attack, everyone was on edge for the early 2000s about flying and safety and who's coming into our country, how to access getting out the airport, going through TSA, all these different things, Homeland Security, everything, just kind of like everything. But unfortunately now, we're 24 years past 9/11. We're 24 years past these tragic incidences, these acts of terror that have been on our country, that have occurred on our country, and the American citizens, specifically the Black American citizens, are suffering from these laws, which is and these regulations, which is absolutely astounding. It's
Yeah.
astounding. I'm like, at this point, you have her records, you know who she is. She has a driver's license. She has a social security card. She has worked for the federal government. Give that lady her real ID. Give her a little star in her license and keep it pushing.
Yeah, and that's why it makes me believe that it's targeting a certain group of people, because that this is a known fact that the records of Black Americans have not been kept traditionally well or at all. And she's not an isolated incident or, citizen having to go through this. So there should be some type of way for those who, are in a similar situation to continue on and get their real ID.
Right.
And like your grandmother's situation, I feel like probably because she did it years ago. And like I said, I feel like there's just a different energy now.
Yes.
And it could just be being difficult to be difficult. Which makes me sad again. And it also alludes to the fact that it's probably more likely a more like racial tone or just like a different tone than it being, like you said, more about safety, because it's like, well, then why wasn't this implemented years ago if it's about safety? So like, yeah, those are kind of like some of my thoughts about it. And I wondered too, it's probably not just Black Americans that are having to go through this. It's probably like people who grew up in rural areas where they also didn't have like birth certificates. Maybe they were born at home because they, didn't have access to a hospital, or like you said, back in the day, like midwives were a thing. So I wonder if those who live in really, really rural areas who not necessarily Black, but also didn't have their records kept well just from being in a more rural area and not having access to healthcare. I wonder if they're like going through a similar situation.
Sure. I'm sure. Think about Texas, Oklahoma, our
I mean, the U.S. it's mostly rural.
it is.
No country like rules, and even like I said, like North Carolina, like we have a few cities, but other than that, like it's pretty rural. And that's like all throughout the South, a lot of the times. And even like, I mean, I live in Philadelphia, but Pennsylvania is rural, like
Yes.
West Philadelphia. So I wonder how those individuals are dealing as well with it. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. Get your real ID if you haven't gotten it yet, because they're really, I mean, I saw a TikTok in North Carolina. The news crew showed up to the airport because people were getting denied because they didn't have their real ID. So it's really serious out here. Get your real ID or keep your passport on you until you can get one. And also, definitely it's like Black Americans, like just be safe, like get your, have your stuff together at the end of the day. Like,
You have to. And I will say this.
don't let them play around with you.
Yes, I say this too. Ladies who just got married, who are changing your name, get your name changed on your social security card, which I did, and then do it for your passport. Because if you move to a new state and you want to register to vote, your passport has to match up with your new name or your birth certificate if you have changed your name. So it's not changing my birth certificate, but social security card's been changed, passport's been changed. Get all your affairs in order. I know it's difficult. I know it's irritating. I know it's very annoying. It's very time consuming. It's annoying. It's quite frankly annoying. You just have to have like your affairs in order because you just never know what's going to happen. I
Exactly.
happened to get a new passport because I needed one for Belize, and literally the next day they were saying, "Oh, married women, if your name does not match your passport or your birth certificate, you can't register to vote, boo." Oh,
And that's crazy. That's honestly really crazy, because I've been hearing about that too. And that's wild how they're really trying to make it difficult for married women to vote. It's wild. It's like, this is not okay.
and take it on like their husband's name if that's their choice, or their partner's name if that's their choice. I'm just glad that I kept my maiden name and added my married name to my name. So it is kind of easier just for document sakes. But I have a lot of my friends who drop their maiden names and they just keep their middle names and add on their partner's names. And that's annoying when you're trying to go and vote and register, handle your affairs and order whatever you need to do. Just make sure that your documents are up to date. I know it sucks. I had to take off PTO. Just take off a day, use a sick time, or when you have a day to yourself, get that scheduled, get it done, because it is crazy, but you don't want your voting rights to be taken away from you, because that's what they're trying to do. And they're going to be successful time come November. Okay. They saw that 92% and they were like, no, we got to fix this. And they're actively working against us, as
Yeah.
y'all can tell, which is crazy.
It's crazy, no, but I mean, I'm so glad you brought this up because like the real ID has been a big topic, and I didn't even think about like our older generation who's still in that time period who has lost records or no records, and it's just so interesting to see how, this is playing out, and I really like hope all the best, and I hope that other counties and states are more graceful and understanding because I feel like a lot of that is just them trying to be difficult, which is so sad. And yeah, so I hope that everything works out with her, and this is your sign. Get your real ID. Get your real ID. So, yeah, thank you for listening to our current event this week. All right, so let's get into our topic for this episode. So, it's currently May, and we know May is Mother's Day, May flowers, but also it brings graduation season. And I don't know about you, but since I graduated about 6 years ago, graduation season just brings me like all the feels. I get so excited. I think about how I felt 6 years ago and like where I'm at now. And anytime I get an invite for one of my friends or family members to a graduation, if I can, I always go. And last week I kind of talked about it a little bit, but one of my best friends graduated with her master's degree. I am so proud of her. Like being a mother, a wife, and being able to like make the hard choice to go back, do your thing, take the time to advance your career, and not even just your career, like just doing something for yourself. At that point, it's like when you have other responsibilities, like going back to school, educating yourself, doing something that can better your life individually is for you, and it feels good. And I could definitely like feel that energy like that weekend celebrating with her. Like she was just so proud of herself, and I was so proud of her, like seeing her go from thinking about it like just a thought, lying to interviewing to like hearing like all the ups and the downs, and like her getting a job before even graduating. Like, it just made me like so happy and excited. And I think as Black women, like we're known to
We
be
love to go to school.
years. We love to go to school. And yeah, what about you, Lauren? Like I know you had a friend that's graduating soon.
Yes. So one of my childhood best friend, Brittany, is graduating this weekend with her MBA. And I'm just so proud. I'm the same way. Commencement season, you're full of emotion. Like, oh, you're sad because the chapter has ended, but you're just so happy and joy. You just see people who work so hard. I remember being like, again, 6 years ago, working so hard. Like, is this ever going to end? And then it ends. And it's just like, it's a very beautiful moment. But shout out to my girl getting her MBA. I'm super, super proud of her. She's a wife. She is a new mother. And she did this while she was pregnant, all through her motherhood journey. She has been adamant about going to school, and she has been on it. And one thing I admire her. She's very regimented. She's very organized. If there's something she wants, she goes and gets it, and she worries about the details later. And I think that's a testament for all Black women. I think we just kind of just get up and we just do it. We don't even think
We do.
about the extenuating circumstances. We just get up and we do what we got to do, and we graduate.
Mm-hmm.
We graduate.
I know there's.
No,
I
I just
know. Go ahead.
No, I just love. I saw some like those like TikToks and those like posts and say that, oh, when Black women are bored, we just get up and go to school. And I'm like, yeah, like we enroll into college.
Literally, I
I'm
was just gonna say
yeah,
that.
I need to take some classes.
Literally, I was just gonna say that. No, like you're so right. Like those, I love. They warm my heart because I have my doctorate degree, and I always said I wasn't gonna go back to school. Then last year, I was like, should I go back to school? Then I was like, I'm not. Don't worry, I'm not. But it's just like a thought because I don't know. There's like something about like expanding your knowledge. And I think it even goes back to like, honestly, like back in the slave days, we always bring it back, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, I feel like not even just that those days, but even like segregation, like where a lot of opportunities were taken away from us and just seeing black women just be like, no, I have the opportunity to do it. I'm going to do it. It doesn't matter like what the circumstances are. And I know reported it says among black students in higher education, women are more likely than men to earn degrees. Black women get 64.1% of bachelor's degrees, 71.5% of masters, 5.9% of doctoral, medical, and dental degrees. And that's out of the black population in higher
Right.
education. And so we do outpace our black men. And I know that's been like a hot topic talked about on social media and even like in articles. I was able to pull up multiple articles where they talked about the deficit between the enrollment between black women and black men. But I mean, I say black women keep going. Like, don't be it. Like, I know, like they even say within dating, like if the higher you go, it's hard. Don't listen. At the end of the day, like nobody can take your education away from you. It does correlate to higher earnings, which is something that I know as Black Americans is really important to us because we're trying to like,
Build something.
years and years and years of like, being behind, and it's important. And also just like, yeah, having that knowledge. I just like love seeing us continue to get educated and, all the pink think pieces are okay, but at the end of the day, like just keep going, girls.
Yes, yes, yes. You have to keep going. You just have to keep going because there's nowhere else to go. You might as well just keep going. But yeah, I love seeing our fellow friends. I just can't wait to clap it up with them this weekend, celebrating big graduation moments. Definitely, it's just like you said, it's such a big, big moment. But again, we're outpacing our male counterparts. And even like professionally, like we're not always awarded or promoted for the hard work that we do in the professional setting outside, well, upon graduation. Upon
Yeah.
graduation, I feel like we're always expected to perform at our highest level, to have hardly any mistakes, not to be human at all. We don't really humanize us, and we don't even get adequately compensated for our work that we do and our dedication that we do. Because black women, we love education. We also like to work. When we go to work, I feel like we all go hard for what we do. We hold ourselves with dignity and integrity when we walk into rooms, and I feel like that should be compensated,
No,
and it's
no,
not. And so it's disheartening in some senses, but we have to keep fighting forward because we want a better future for our tomorrow. But it is quite annoying because we are the most educated demographic of people in the country, and we're the least paid, least
no,
compensated.
I agree. Like that's like one of the frustrations, and I know we work in different sectors, but I can just attest to, as many Black women can attest to, like having to do literally the most for
Mhm.
like your job just to be considered, qualified, which is crazy. And honestly, I'm seeing it more as I like go up. Like entry level, it's okay. Like, they say you go from like pet to threat, and I definitely like have felt that in my career where they're fine with you being entry level, but then now that I've like worked my way up and I have the experience, it's definitely been challenging in some spaces to kind of like push forward only because they kind of like want to keep you in a certain spot or they want you to prove yourself multiple times over. And I don't do all that. I don't do all that. But it is reported that actually, to your point about the compensation, Black women working part-time make 0.66 cents, so 66 cents for every dollar paid to white men, and those working full-time make 69 cents for every dollar. So that's like about 40%, almost 40% deficit, well closer to 30%, and that's a big deal.
It's huge.
That's a huge deal. I mean, like even like thinking about like bonuses and things like that, like a percentage, that's a huge percentage compared to the dollar that we're making less.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's frustrating. It really is.
It is. It is. Because we work hard, especially we have to work, like you said, twice as hard. Maybe twice as hard, twice as good, and then you sit and your counterparts, are just so not where you are. Like, they we glorify mediocrity in this country. And because of that, people who are exceptional, like you said, they find to be as a threat if you look like us.
Mhm.
or you look differently, talk differently, or you come from a different place, or maybe you're first generation college student or first generation in the professional setting. Maybe you're the first in your family to do this, or maybe you have the legacy and everyone in your family has all these degrees. They're still intimidated by you, and they will try to find ways to humble you
Oh,
and
yeah,
to keep you in your place and not promote you, but still expect you to work at a higher level without compensating you for the
exactly.
sake of experience
And I
or
like that you mentioned
extra
stuff,
layer.
and I like that you mentioned the humbling piece because our should be president, Madam President, but Madam
Kamala
Vice
Harris.
President Kamala Harris made
Yes.
a comment on the Call Her Daddy podcast talking about some like, basically saying, I don't want to be humble. What if I don't want to be humble? And honestly, since she said that, I've like carried that with me because I feel like, especially coming from the South, as a young Black woman from the South, we are taught to be humble. I know my mom's like big on being like, you want to have humility, which I
Same.
agree. However, there is certain places and areas where like you don't need to be humble, and I feel like work is like one of those areas because you are working in a multi-diverse area, and within being Black women, we already have microaggressions and biases toward us, whether they're subconscious or not, and we don't need to be humble. We don't need to be humble. They're going to humble us enough. Are ourselves. We need to be confident in what we know. We've been to school. The statistics show, we probably have more degrees than those are who are our counterparts, or more experience for that same position. Like, this to be true. I've said it, you've said it. I've had friends who said this is not a unique experience to me as a Black woman. But I mean, honestly, like I love the girls getting higher education, especially my Black girlies. And even they're honestly like when I was looking it up, white women, it's the same trends. White women are outpacing white men. So
Mhm.
honestly, it's a women men thing. But honestly, like it leads to so many great opportunities for you when you're able to educate yourself, go into higher education. Like for example, myself, like I have a doctorate degree. Like I've said before, I went straight through, got my doctorate degree. And at 30, it's been able to afford me a lifestyle that I can really appreciate and love. Like I'm able to travel comfortably. I own a home comfortably, independently by myself. I'm able to just like, I buy my breakfast pretty much every morning. Like I can, invest properly. It's really afforded me a lot of opportunities by seeking higher education. And I think that people kind of get bogged down. Like people might get bogged down with like the debt, or thinking that, hey, I can make money quicker a different way. But the long game, honestly, the long game is where it's at. So get your education. The debt, you can manage it. You can figure out the best way that you can get your education, whether it's through scholarships, through loans, and you can responsibly try to like pay them back. So don't let any of that get in your way, because I'm telling you, like one of my favorite things to do now is solo travel. And I'm honestly afforded that because I, took the time to invest in my education early in my life, and I can do that. And last year I went to London and Paris alone. Like I had the best time. It was like to kick off my 30th year because I turned 30 in February. And I went to London, Paris. I stayed in some bougie ass hotels. Like I went shopping, like I had such a good time. And also I felt like I was confident because I'm educated. I felt like I was able to navigate certain situations independently, and then also just like enjoy it because I could, because I was able to set myself up. And I think it's really important to push that narrative, especially in the Black community, that they're just playing, going to school, getting your degrees can afford you a nice lifestyle and plenty of amenities in your life. And I think, also going back to like this generation, like this is one of the first generations where women are able to just be freely independent. They're not pressured as much to fall into a partnership out of need and desperation, but more so because they want to, because they found somebody that benefits them. And by seeking higher education, it's so much easier to do that. And so I really like encourage you all to, if you're thinking about it, I know Lauren is, you got to
I
tell us where you're
know.
at, but go for it.
Definitely go for it because even for me, I am very proud of the education I have. And I'm always seeking to learn more, earn more. And for me, like, you don't want to get into a space where a difference between you and a promotion is you having this degree behind you, this degree that you have earned.
Mhm.
And especially in the liberal arts fields, the humanities, your educational, a lot of people who are making these big decisions do have their doctorates or at the minimum their master's degrees. And if you want to be a boss, the cheat sheet is to go to school. Like our parents said, go to school and get education. Our mama said that, and it's still true to this day. Like you said, regardless of the debt, sometimes you have to take a chance of yourself. And to me, education is priceless. It is priceless. Like you said, because of the decisions I made when I was in school, I was very intentional what I wanted to do in the career I selected right after college. Worked for a school system that was able to learn a lot. I was in leadership roles a lot. And because of that, I've been able to progress and still have a progressive career without having the doctorate or my master's degree just yet, just because I was intentional. But even for myself, I go to work because I need money. We all need money because we need to count our coins. And there's certain things like we like to do with our money that bring us joy in our lives that are small little luxuries. For you, it's solo traveling. You're a big traveler. For me, I'm very into beauty. I love getting my nails done. I have been getting my nails done like every 2 weeks because I work. When I was in college, that wasn't the case. Like we had to go a little 4 weeks, 6 weeks, without, we had to let them close that girl out. Now, I can be kind of whimsical. I will get the design on all 10 fingers. I will go to Sephora and get a new lip combo. And it's just these small luxuries of things that really elevate your everyday life because you have to go to work every single day to make some money. And there's nothing like earning your own money as women, partnership or not. As being a married woman, I am so proud that I have my job, I work, I'm focused on my career because there was a time where we couldn't do that as married women or women who were mothers to try and start their families. They didn't want us to do that. They said, y'all go have a seat. And as much as I talk about, I would love to be a kept woman. I am, but I earn money. And
Yeah.
even ladies who are staying at home, find a way to make some little money in your pocket because there's nothing like seeing that direct deposit hit and from something that you did, that you earned, that you worked hard for. There's something more proud than that. I'm like, oh yes, come on, the 15th and the 30th. Like, this is what I worked hard for. And this is what I want to kind of do with it.
Do you want to open more up about your like journey of like how you're like wanting to go to grad school and like what are your like initial thoughts, like what made you like within your career, like I know you said you've been able to kind of like intentionally like seek out your career. I know you've been doing it for a good time, and as your friend I'm always hearing like the great things that you're doing
Yes.
up for the kids, which I really love. But like I've also been hearing like you're ready for the next step soon, so like what does that look like for you like in education, like what does that look like for you for like what you want to do based off of like your major in college, like what are your next steps? Like, what are you looking to do?
The next steps, how I basically got here. When I was in school, I was a psychology major. I
So
wanted to study.
just share like how you want to go to grad school.
When I was in school, I was a psychology major and I wanted to study psychology since I took the AP class in high school. I love psychology. That being said, I kind of knew going into it that I would need to earn a doctorate degree if I wanted to truly be in the field as an expert and making decisions in the psychology world or in the educational world adjacent. After school, I chose to work at a school system actually that I graduated from, working for family and community engagement. So I was not in the classroom, so I was still interacting with community, interacting with families, interacting with the students, but I knew I want to work with kids. So I'm like, I want to work with kids, but I don't want to be necessarily a teacher. So I know I need experience working with children. So that was kind of my start into education, my educational career. Now I'm doing the same thing, I'm in the same department, different school districts, still providing resources, working with families, planning events, doing all the things. But in the higher educational world, you need your doctorate to sometimes do these things. And I have goals of mine. I would love to be a chair of a psychology department at HBCU towards the end of my career. So I know I need to have a doctorate for that. It's just like preparing myself for future Lauren or my career when I'm thinking about how I want to end my career. Or like I said before, like last episode, that I really want to publish some research. I'm a research nerd through and through. And I want I want something I created to be published on
Yeah.
the article. So those are my goals as to far as why I want to go get behind the grad school, why I want to not just pursue my master's, but all the way up to my doctorate,
Mhm.
just because I needed to do the things I want to do within my career. And even when in this time I've had not gone to school. I graduated from Hampton and I started in the workforce. I've been saving my money for back to school. I have been being intentional about the jobs I've taken and really just gone really hard and excelled and putting my energy into work, because that also is going to be part of your application for grad
Mhm.
school. And then for our ladies, for people who choose to take some time off, they're looking at you, especially if you take significant time off from back to school. Like it's not like 6 months or a year, like a gap year, but okay, why now? They're gonna ask you why now? Why you want to go to school now? And you just have to be intentional. Like, why do I want
Yeah.
to go to school now? Do you want to just switch up your whole system, or you just want to advance yourself in what you're doing now and just you can speak on it to a different level? So that's kind of like where my that's like kind of where my motivation lies. But Lauren was always gonna go to grad school. Lauren
Yeah.
was always gonna get her PhD. Lauren said at 16, so I
It's
pretty
just
much
like,
do what I say I was gonna I'm gonna do.
and you're like, next steps. I love how you said you've been like intentional through this whole process, like even with the jobs that you've taken. And I like what you said about like thinking about the end of your career. That's something that my mother has like been started to talk to me about, because she feels like you have to think ahead, because things certain achievements and goals take time, and like you said, they're the footing for where you want to go, especially career wise. You don't just get there overnight. Like you don't just get the degree and then all of a sudden you're a chairperson. Like there's a process. So it's great that you've like taken the time to reflect on like what you've already done, and like I'm excited to see like where you're gonna go next, take your next achievement and like go on to the next phase of your career to like eventually, become the chairwoman of the psychology department at a HBCU. Like I can totally see it. I'm honestly so proud of you, Lauren. Like you even like thinking about the next steps. It's one of the reasons why I went straight through to pharmacy school, because I was so nervous about stopping and starting because it's so hard. And I've been seeing the girls out on social media and like even my mutuals, and like I spoke about in the beginning, my like friend taking that step and going back and like doing it for you and your, possibility, like your career advancements. There's a lot of benefits to going back to school and seeking higher education. And I love that it's a trend within Black women and how we are doing the thing, and how we are going for those degrees and going for those promotions. Yeah, and like we also said, like we don't have the luxury of like not going to school. Like we have to be overqualified for positions even today in 2025. So don't let anybody discourage you about going back to school, and doing what you need to do. Obviously have a plan, especially if you're going back. I know like going back, we're adults now, we have other responsibilities and we have to be responsible, but don't let that be an excuse. Even like in your 30s, 40s, it doesn't matter. Like you have so much more life to live, and there's no reason that you can't take that step to go back to school to advance your career and, make those moves to do what you want to do and like be where you want to be. So that way you can go solo travel and you can do all these big things, or you can impact the community in the way that you want to because you have the credentials to do it. Because it's not just about material things, it's also about being able to impact the way you want to. Um, because you have that education. And lastly, I think I want to say about that too. Also, I think it's great that you really enjoy research, because I know that a lot of like research, from my field being in pharma, there is a big lack of research just in like clinical research for Black people in general. And so we always need people who are researchers to continue to do studies and specifically about Black issues, and obviously as it relates to psychology will be so helpful because we just really don't have that research. So that's also something to think about too. Like you're needed. You're needed as doctors, as dentists, all those higher education spots, like you're needed. And even like in a corporate setting, like where I work, the higher you go, the less you see of us. And partly it's because they make us be overqualified. Like we need those higher education, like we need those degrees. So don't be scared to get them. Like don't talk yourself out of it. It is necessary,
It
it
is.
is needed, and it will benefit you. So don't hear all the hearsay that, the naysay, you don't need this, you don't need that. No, like nobody can take your education away from you. And I think that also, like, just to kind of close it out, what me and Lauren kind of talked about in episode one, where we talked a lot about our Black American heritage, which we're very, very proud of. And we talked a lot about our grandmothers, who we, are very proud of and who we really like take a lot of our inspiration from. And I mentioned that my grandmother, may she rest in peace, love you, girl, she was offered to go to school. She was valedictorian of her high school, and she went off to go to college and had to come back to help her mother, which was very common during that time, especially in the South, in the rural South, being able to do that. And my other grandmother, my paternal grandmother, she didn't have like literacy past a certain age. She was illiterate, which is a big thing in the older Black community because of like the locations you lived in. So for them to have a daughter or a granddaughter who has a doctorate degree and who is able to push through and be able to have this like higher education experiences and degree is huge, and it makes me very, very proud. And if anything, it's worth it just because I was able to do that for them, and something that they were not able to do because the opportunity wasn't available to them. And so for me, I'm always like very proud of like being able to just like go all the way through.
Yes, it's again, like I'm always legacy girl. Like it's legacy that you leave behind. You never know who's watching because, like you said, the kids are watching. Like my grandmother, she was valedictorian of her high school. I like your grandmother. We should not in common. Both our grandmas
Yeah.
were valedictorians of their high school classes, and my grandmother got a scholarship. She took the train from South Carolina to Hampton, and she was a English major and a social work double major, and she was awarded an opportunity after graduation to study at the University of Virginia with the Margaret Mead. My grandmama, her mother said, "Baby, you got to come back home to help her take care of." Her siblings, who extended family, her cousins. So she did. And my grandmother did end up getting a master's degree, but it took her longer because she became a wife and she raised two kids, and she's very Southern women. She had dinner on the table every single night, and that takes time to just kind of see like all that she's had to do to work to get her higher level education. And it's just, you have to live those legacies on. You have to kind of just, your grandmothers have worked so hard to get
Yeah.
you where you are here. Your mothers have worked so hard. You just never know who the women before us, before you, what work they've had to endure, what they have gone through, so we could have these opportunities here today. And it's only right for us to take full opportunities and rise into our fullest, our most high potential, in memory of them, in honor to them, in tribute to them, because the same is going to be done for us when it's our time is gone and we want to make a better future for our tomorrow too. It's just really important to really look into your roots, see where you come from, know where you come from. If you don't know necessarily where you come from, what are you about? What legacy did you want to start for your family, for your daughters, your nieces, your granddaughters? What do you want to do to kind of leave behind, and what kind of example you want to be here? It's going to be trailblazing women. You need to
It
be
is.
it's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Nothing. No, it is. And like, this is your sign. If you've been thinking about it, you've been hesitant, you've been looking at that GMAT book, you've been looking at the GRE book, you've been looking at that MCAT book, open it up and get to studying.
Use some
We need
flashcards.
you. Yes, we need you, and your legacy needs you. And there is no downside to continuing to educate yourself and making better opportunities for yourself. So we really hope you like this topic. We think it's, relevant, fun, and also like it's relevant to the season, it's graduation season. So congratulations to all the graduates out there. We wish you all the best on your next ventures, and thank you for inspiring us.
Yes. Now let's get into our favorite part of the show. It's time for our unpopular, maybe so popular hot takes. What's it called? Our take on it. So Jillian, what's your take on it this week?
Okay, so my take on it, this is like a sibling thing. So I am a younger sister to an older brother. Mind you, we are 18 months apart. So right now I'm 30, he's 31. So like keep that in mind.
Okay.
But I've always been a little bit more on the bossy side, but in a good way. I call myself a natural leader, not bossy. But as you can assume, like my parents are divorced, it's me and my brother. I pretty much like run the household, basically. My brother's getting married, and I'm like so excited to gain a sister-in-law. You have no idea. And like, I don't know how he did it, but he picked a good one. I really like her. She actually came to Belize on my trip. Like we had our first like sister bonding time, and it was like really so enjoyable and so fun. So as you can imagine, with wedding planning going on, I want this to be perfection. I do not want my brother and like our side of the family. I want to make sure we're showing up correct and we're like doing all the things. So I have been giving my opinion. And I keep saying like, oh, I'm not going to do it. But mind you, at this point, I've like edited the checklist, like the guest list. Mind you, I was the first person they like sent it to review. Like that's how like locked in I am on this wedding. Like I've been ran like wedding dates through me, different receptions. Like we're trying to figure out like reception ideas. Like I
Mhm.
have like all my opinions on that. Like even like literally my dad texted like me and my brother in our group chat something about like the wedding and I answered before my brother. Like that's how like locked in I am. But I think it's really just because like it's just like younger, it's just like sister energy. If you have a brother, like they're not the most organized, like you were probably the one that was parented and they were like coddled and like that carries on. And like I just want this wedding to be like I'm excited for it. And I also like come from a mother who is like slightly controlling in that way. Like she likes event planning and like
Mhm.
she likes to dip her toe into like, other people's events, but it always comes out good. So that's like
Mhm.
also where I'm coming from too. But it's funny because I've been like saying like don't ask me questions, but who comes to me for questions about the wedding? My mom comes to me. She's asking me about my brother's wedding. My dad is asking me questions about the wedding. I feel like my brother has even asked me questions about his own wedding, like what he should do. Like I've talked to my sister-in-law about it. So it's like it's just funny because like it's such like younger sister, like natural leader, I'm not gonna say bossy energy. So I want to know like my younger sisters, my sisters out there, like did you have this energy for your siblings' wedding? And like it's in the best way possible. Like it's me like wanting everything to like go super well. Like I've been like mediating with my parents to make sure like my brother gets what he wants. Cause I for me it's a reflection of me too. Like how am I gonna have like my brother and like my future sister like have like an okay wedding when I could
Right.
just give my opinions and it can be like I can just, give them a little bit more vavoom. Like be like, we should do this. We should do this. We should do this. I like this. So where are my sisters at? Like, is this like sister energy? I feel like it is. Like, give me your opinions. Because I'm like, am I overstepping? I don't feel like I am. Like, this is my family. Like, I have to like I'm gonna be the future matriarch of my family. Like I have to start like giving the rules, like bossing people around now. Mind you, I am single. I've never planned a wedding. I'm not engaged, so like I don't have those conditions.
Vibe, straight vibe, straight. No,
Like let me
no. I will say this: as someone who was just recently married, I too have a little sister, and my sister is a project manager by trade. So she was very much, hey, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do this. And I'm a little more laissez-faire, I think, than my sister. I am organized, but in a big way. I know I have a vision. And I sometimes know how to execute said vision. That's what she kept saying. Dog on short date, she got me together. And it's like it is sister energy. And I feel bad because my didn't have bridesmaids. She was just her. It was just a maid of honor.
you really
And
happen.
so I'm like, okay, it's on you, make it happen. But honestly, as someone who was the bride or was engaged, I love to having my family invested in it. Like they really do love it because it's like, okay, one less thing they have to think about, or I can guarantee that Jillian's gonna
Mhm.
have my opinion or gonna have my back. Or if I ask her about something, she's gonna give me honest feedback. She will help me find a solution to something. And then I'm just happy for them because
So
you gain a
excited.
sister.
I'm so excited,
Right.
honestly.
Right.
It's gonna be so fun, like just getting family together and just like celebrating them because they're very like humble, down like earth people. Like they don't do like the spotlight. They're not like big into that. So I think it'll just be really fun to have them just like be celebrated and like honored and like their relationship. So I'm like really excited about like the upcoming year and celebrating them and all the festivities. And that's why like I keep saying, yeah, I'm gonna be hands off, but then again, like I'm just like texting back immediately, like,
Yeah,
what
your hands
are we talking about? Like, yeah,
your hands off in your
I'm accepting it now. Like it's not. I'm not. It's not. Like
God.
it's not happening.
I love that. Congratulations to your brother and your future sister-in-law. I'm definitely wishing them the happiest, most peaceful, loving, joyful union. I cannot wait to see all the pictures and all the looks and such an exciting time. Really enjoy this time because it's just so surreal. Just bask in the moment, sharing, expanding your family. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
What about you? Like, what's going on with you? Like, what's your hot take this week?
So my hot take is, like I think I said in the very first episode, bring back shame. And if you did not tune in to our Mother's Day post on Instagram, I would like to share with you that a lovely, phenomenal county, Suffolk County, I believe in New York, decided that they were going to blast the top 5 men in their community who owe child support as much as $400,000. And it was like a bounty hunt on them in honor of Mother's Day. And that DA, whomever, got up there in honor of Mother's Day We are. I'm like, exactly. That's the energy that we need to have. Just because moms are out here hustling for their kids, working, some are working 2, 3 jobs to put food on the table, or for their kid to go to private school, or for their kid to play this sport, and their child's father's out here frolicking, acting like they don't have any children, or picking and choosing when they want to be fathers.
Mm.
Boo, 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 boo. Tomato. That is so unacceptable. That is
It's so
so
unacceptable.
unacceptable. And the older that I get, the more I realize how crazy it really is. And then the kids, again, the kids suffer. The kids suffer. The mom's doing so much. Like, you don't know, like, why would you do that? If you're a man, why would you choose to lay down and impregnate somebody and not raise a child with them? You don't have to be together, just
Mm.
co-parent. Sometimes love doesn't always work out. But love creates babies. And then babies grow up and become children, become adults. They need 2 people, they need a village. And you need to be there, men. Need to be there to step up and be that father figure. Because they're gonna have problems in their future forming relationships, committing to things, thriving. If they do not have a proper mother or said father figure, it's going to make it harder for them to be successful. And that's a fact. There's so many studies on it. You can look them up left and right. But you need to
I
step
say,
up and take care of your kids. If you're going to be out here frolicking through the world, then you need to have some type of fun, some type of time to take care of it. I also would like to take a moment. I cannot stand the serial fathers who like to have project triplets, quadruplets, have 10, 11 kids. Because why would you sit here
why
and
would you do that?
actively create broken homes? Because I mean, that's what's happening. Like, you could say, oh, I'm there for my kid, I'm there for your kid. You're not there for your kid every morning when they wake up getting ready for school. You're not there for your kid every single night during bedtime. You're not helping them with their homework every single night. Come on. If you have 10 kids from 7 different people by 7 different women, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. You are only There's
They
only one of
can.
you.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's only one of you. So that being said, if you not going to have no intention of creating a family with the person that you are laying down with, whether you co-parent or not together, go on, wrap that up. Ladies, don't be Twinkies, be toaster
Be
strudels.
toaster strudels.
Because no, it's hard out here. It's hard out here. It really is hard out here. You have to protect yourself. And when you do choose to have a baby, ladies out here, be prepared to raise that child by yourself. And I don't have kids, and my mom has always taught me that. Prepared to raise that kid by themselves. Because I'll tell you what, even education for the emergency contact list, even if the dad's listed number 1, we call him mom. Like, people call mom. Like, they're calling, you're the mother. You're the mother. You're the mother. You're the mother.
Exactly.
And therefore, as a mother, as a future mother, you need to be very intentional who you choose to lay down with, because you don't want the alternative to happen. And I'm not saying we all get bamboozled out here. We've all been led astray
Yes.
left and right. This is not a shame on the women who have had awful experiences. It's a shame on those men who have caused them seriously. But ladies, be careful out here. Be
Yes.
careful out here. And just be careful who you marry. Be careful who you have kids with, because that could really affect your life. Like, it could be detrimental to your life if you pick poorly.
And it's like men are out here trapping women. Like
Yes, exactly.
they want to ruin your life. Like, you have things going on and they're going to ruin your life by impregnating you. And I love that you brought this story. I love that you brought up Shane. I agree with all this hot take. I agree with everything you said. I love that they called all these men out. We need to bring that back. Garnish their wages. Take their money, because like you said, we see these women, these mothers who have just been celebrated, hustle, do what they have to do, put food on the table, give their kids opportunities that they didn't have, and do the most because their significant other, maybe they switched up on them. Things can happen all the time. And like we said, we're not going to shame the woman and things that happen that way, but it's just really such a shame how common it is
It
for
is.
fathers to be non-existent. And honestly, if you don't want to be involved, send the money every month. Send some money. And this isn't even just fathers I know who are like, maybe they don't make as much money. This is across the diaspora. I know there's men who make money and who aren't supporting their kids. You know what I mean? So I bring back the shame. Love that. Hold these men accountable. Garnish your wages. Women out there who are doing it alone, we see you. We support you. Do your thing. Do what you got to do. And yeah, I hate to see it. And I hate the multiple. I dislike the multiple baby mama children situation. It's affected me personally. I see it up close, the
Mhm.
effects that it has on the children as much as you do for those. And in like my situation, I know that like the father in the situation has done, even through their poor choices and circumstances, they always have their kids at the forefront. But unfortunately, the choices that they made during that time, it has lasting effects. So,
Yes.
yeah, bring back the shame and garnish the wages.
That's what I'm saying. And even too, any men who listen to our podcast, call your fellow male counterparts out. Bring back chivalry, like true chivalry. Fight in for a lady's honor. If you see a guy out here doing wrong and you know him and you are friends with him, you need to check your friend. You need to check them too. It's not up to us. Y'all need to do it. It's y'all's job. That's a man's problem and y'all need to fix it because we
Yeah.
are suffering. We're suffering.
Check your friends. If you know your friend is a deadbeat dad or they're not doing all that they can do, because even just paying child support isn't enough. If you have this child, your baby mother should be she should not have to worry. And obviously, like you have to deal with it in your means, but you cannot not contribute, making it difficult. You see men making it difficult. It's not even about the money, it's the manipulation that they have against these women who are taking care of their children, raising their children, doing the best that they can, and it's so unfortunate. So bring back the shame. Shame your brothers, shame your uncles, shame your fathers, shame your neighbor. Bring back shame. Shame them for making poor choices and not taking care of their kids. Do not be afraid to call these men out, because I sure am. I'm not. Call them out. Don't make them normalize it. Don't make them think it's cool to not take care of their kids. You need to be calling them out. Okay? I don't care what they say the baby mama situation is. It don't matter.
It
You
doesn't
have a
matter.
relationship with your child, your kid. You can do things for your kid outside the baby mama, and you can do what you need to do to help establish a relationship with your child and also be a present person in your child. And if you cannot be that present person and you feel like you can't show up physically, show up financially. Send that check, pay for those activities, do what you got to do. If you got to get a second job, get a second job. Because guess what? You laid down and you created not just a baby, but a life, and they deserve the best shot that they have in this life. And that's for you to give them the opportunity. So you need to do the hard thing, get that money, do what you got to do legally, and pay your baby child support, take care of your kid. But yeah, wow. Love those hot takes. Definitely gives you something to think about. And I really hope you all loved our conversation this week, because we sure loved sharing our conversation with you. And it's episode 6. Yay, I cannot believe it's been 6 episodes. And thank you. Thank you for all our supporters so far. We have been gaining a following. We have 42 followers on TikTok. We have followers on Instagram. We also are on YouTube. So we are on all the platforms. Whatever your favorite platform is, we're on it. So check us out on all of our platforms. And don't forget to leave in the comments what you're listening to so we can add it to our playlist, because we love to vibe. And don't forget also to leave us 5 stars on either Apple or Spotify. We love your support. If you're enjoying the podcast, we would love to hear about it. So thank you. And we hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. And we can't wait to talk to you next week.
Yes, thank you for tuning in. Bye, y'all.